Did anybody watch the TV show Mad Men? Yes. Well, I watched it too, but I didn't need to because I was there. I worked in advertising, and for a while I did this in Cleveland. Now, Cleveland was an interesting city, and a lot of good things about it. You've all heard the catchphrase, with a name like Smucker's, it's got to be good. Well, that came out of Cleveland around that time. So there were a lot of positives, but there were a lot of negatives about Cleveland. Don't forget them. They used to call it the mistake on the lake. And the river that flowed through Cleveland, the Cuyahoga River, was so polluted it caught on fire. And the Republican mayor at the time was given an invitation for a reception at the Nixon White House, and he said, "Sorry, I can't go, Mr. President. Tuesday is my bowling night." So you can imagine that I was trying to get out of there. Well, I went for an interview here in Chicago, and here I am. I come in for the interview, and there's 4 men. There were no women because I was interviewing for the only female executive job they even had. So there's these 4 guys, one my age, 3 of them were older. This was back in the day when there still were some people that were older than I am. So we talked, and they did want to discuss my qualifications. But mostly what they wanted to talk about were my child care arrangements and my husband. So I told them, my son's 12 years old, he has a babysitter when he's not in school, he's fine. So they went on about my husband. You know, how did he feel about coming to Chicago? How did he feel about my career? Well, I said, if it pays for his beer, he's fine. And, you know, we kept on about that. And, well, back in the day, I did love my husband. This was before I realized that there were only 2 things about me that he really liked: my paycheck and my pussy. So, you know, what was I going to do? I eventually divorced him. You're probably thinking, how can I stand here saying things about this man? Could he sue me? No, he can't sue me. Why? Because he's dead. It's okay, I didn't kill him. I just thought about it. So, getting back to the great job interview, they kept me there for 2 hours, straight through lunch, didn't even offer me a glass of water. And a few days later, they called me back. And I refused the first offer, took the second. So I refused the first offer. So instead of paying me 50% of what they would have paid a man, they had to pay me 2/3.